going to give me a little bit more warning. Nobody's here anyway. It's just that awkward time when I have to talk to myself because no one's here yet. And then people watching the replay get to hear my awkward conversation with myself. So, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's even around. I was just kind of bored and thought I'd pop in and see if anybody wanted to talk. Yeah, still nobody. So we'll see if anybody pops in. I'll give it a few minutes to see. How was everybody's weekend? How's your day going? You can answer me if you're watching the replay. Right now I'm still just talking to myself. Oh, I think I see one person popped in. So if you're here, go ahead and say hi. I was just getting a little sick of talking to myself. Oh, Beverly. Oh, good to see you. I think it's just you and me. How has your weekend been, Beverly? How have you been doing? I feel like it's been a while since I've been talking and checking in on everybody. You seeing a lot of your great-granddaughter? I still think that's so cool. Great-granddaughter? Is anybody else in here want to say hi? We can chat and see what's going on. I'm just working on a Tunisian sweater, Tunisian crochet sweater. It's pretty mindless. Oh, Shannon's here. Hi, Shannon. Good to see you. I got your email and I'm still in. I didn't want to overwhelm you with extra emails, so this is good that I just get to tell you now. I'm still in. I actually made the project that I'm going to do. I just have to make the video for it. I was waiting for more instructions. So if you say that everybody's on that list and everything I need to know is there, then I feel like we're good to go. Hi, love from Janet Kashmir. Hi. Oh, I missed something here. Oh, Beverly said, it has been busy. Yes, I can relate to that. I attended the All Lutheran Women's Conference in Fredericksburg, Virginia, with 4 other women from my church on Friday and Saturday. Oh, I think I just read Lutheran into it, but you had misspelled it. It's fine. Okay. Well, that sounds like it was fun. Did you have a good time? I think one of my sons just thought I was talking to them. My name is Heather. I realize not everybody here knows me. It was awesome. So good. I love that. It's nice to get out and to do all those things and, you know, spend some time with your friends. That's amazing. Did you guys do any crafting while you were there? Or was it just other things were going on? Ma'am, have you ever come to Kashmir? Nope. Sorry to say. Somebody's asking me to say their name. Trying to make me look silly. I'm actually I barely know one language. Now, there are people who can speak multiple languages and I really admire them, but that's not me. If you wanted to put the phonetic way to say your name, I could give it a try. Do I see that Marina is on? It has been so long since I've seen Marina. Abba. Abha. Oh, Marina, hi. How are you? What have you been doing? I know school is going to be getting ready to start soon. Yeah, I know it's been a long time. How are you doing? Well, if you want to hear the whole long story, in May, I was doing some gardening and I was shoveling some mulch, and when I twisted, I had a snap in my knee, and then, hi Denise, and then I just could not put any pressure on it. It just hurt so bad. Oh, Marina, we just got back from a road trip. Oh, that sounds fun. I went to see a sick friend. The summer is just going by so quickly. It is going by so quickly. So what happened, long story short, I went to the doctor and they said that I had a root tear of my meniscus. And the original doctor that I saw said, oh, there's nothing you can do for that. You'll just, in 3 months, you'll get used to your new normal, and then you'll have arthritis because this kind of injury causes arthritis. So I was like discouraged, but I thought, oh, okay, I guess there's nothing you can do. You know, three months, hopefully I'll be feeling better. Well, here we are 3 months later, and I can still barely walk on it. It's awful. I've never had any kind of like knee injury or, you know, anything like that in my life. This is the first time I've ever experienced anything like this. And so I went back to a different doctor for a second opinion because July 4th, I wrote to the original doctor and I said, I'm having a lot of pain. I'm sure there is something that you can do. And actually, I knew there was something you could do because my sister is a nurse in the OR room for a pediatric orthopedic. And when I told her about my injury, she said, oh my gosh, we fix those all the time. So that first doctor wasn't being truthful. I guess she just didn't want to deal with me. So July 4th, I sent her a message and I said, I'm disappointed that I didn't know about this, but can you see me? Or if you can't, can you recommend somebody to see me so that we can try to fix this because I'm still in so much pain? And I don't know, maybe she thought I was a complainer or something, but she never responded. Never responded. And, you know, to this day still hasn't responded. So I found a different orthopedic practice. And I had a second opinion on Friday, and they said, oh yeah, we can fix that. And so they're going to schedule, I don't know when it's going to be scheduled yet, but they're going to schedule me for this. They're going to reattach the meniscus because I guess a root tear is when it detaches from the kneecap. So he's going to reattach it and then see if there's any kind of cleanup that needs to happen. But he said that it's a hard recovery. He said it's going to be about 6 weeks of recovery. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if they do the surgery now, I'm going to miss the first 6 weeks of school. So that'll be interesting. But, you know, it has to get done. It's awful. I've never lived with anything like this before, and I'm not like a complainer. You know, if you're new here and you're just meeting me, I'm not somebody who like complains all the time. You know, in fact, probably a lot of you, this injury happened in May, and I'm guessing a lot of you didn't even know it happened because I don't sit here and talk about that kind of stuff on my channel. But it's just like, even today, I didn't have the knee brace on because the knee brace was rubbing and making a sore on my leg, and the doctor said that the sore needs to heal before he'll do any surgery. So I've not been wearing the brace, and I just, going up and down stairs is torture. It's awful. So let me see what's going on. Marina said, oh, we just got Oh, I saw that one. Oh no, sorry you hurt your knee. I've had meniscus tears, super painful. They are. They are. I did a lot of PT for it. I'm glad you got a second opinion. Me too, because this just, this can't be my new normal. Not being able to go up and down steps and having extreme pain every time I walk. This cannot be my new normal. I can't deal with that. And Marina said you'll need a lot of PT. Yeah, they did say that. They said it's going to be a 6 week. Well, I just said that it'll be a 6 week recovery, and then I'll need to be doing PT as well. So I don't know how much work I'm going to miss. It's my right knee, which means I won't be able to drive until they tell me to. So I don't know if that means 6 weeks until I can drive, or 6 weeks in bed and then I just start doing light things and can't drive yet. I really don't know. But it's just, you know, things going on. People must not like me telling that story because I had like 20 some people in here. Now we're down to 2. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare people away. Marina said, it's absolutely awful. I shattered my knee, ouch, some years back, and it completely ruined both of my knees because the other one was compensating. I ended up with meniscus tears as well, not the kind you have. Ooh, Marina, ouch. Knee injuries are the worst and they are super painful. You're not a complainer. I'm on my way out to a movie, but my notification said you were going live and I just wanted to stop and say hi. You should email me. Yes. Oh, Marina, I'm so glad you popped in. Thank you so much. Enjoy your movie and happy beginning of the school year so soon. We have a special year this year, huh? With our kids. Oh, man. So, there's that. Thanks, Heather. It was good to see you. It was really nice to see you, too. It has been so long since we've had a chance to talk. I guess I've just been kind of, you know, there's stuff that's busy, but also I think sometimes I get stuck, you know, like I'm not feeling well with my knee, so I'm just not like, I mean, even like right before we came on here, I felt a little crabby. I'm like, ugh. Why don't I just do a live, see if that cheers me up. Senior year, yes, we both have a senior this year. It's so crazy, it went by so fast. Oh, Kenyatta, hi. How are you? I was just telling the horror story of my knee. They're saying it's going to be a hard recovery, 6 weeks. It's going to be worth it, but 6 weeks of recovery, and it's my right knee, so I don't know if that 6 weeks means like I'm done after the 6 weeks and then I could start driving again, or if like I'm not going to be able to drive for a while because that's going to make work difficult. At least work at the school difficult, if that's the case. And I don't know when they're going to do it yet. I'm guessing they'll call me sometime early this week, I guess. I really don't know to schedule it. You know, I guess if it's, oh, Kenyatta, you're tired. Officially moved out. Should be signing the lease soon. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that everything worked out with your new lease. It is so stressful to move. I'm sorry that you're having to do that. But I hope this new place is better for you. Yeah, I'm sorry that we're going to miss each other, but I totally understand. It's way more important to get your ducks in a row with the move and everything. And maybe next year we can catch up with each other. Anybody in here working on any special projects? You still doing bags and hats, Kenyatta, or are you just kind of on hold until the whole move thing is over? I still need to complete the bag orders on hold. Yeah, I can understand that. I know moving is so stressful, but you'll get in there. You'll make it your place. Yeah, like I said, I'm really, really happy that everything worked out for you. There's nothing like not knowing where you're going. Beverly, you got this. Kenyatta sending positive vibes. Oh, that's nice. Oops. I'm doing I'm doing a crochet along with Knit Pal, and they're doing they asked to do a sweater, Tunisian crochet sweater, and it's in the Tunisian knit stitch, and I keep finding that every every once in a while I accidentally crochet two together. And then I need to I can kind of fix it in the next row. It's a little bit different than regular crochet. Although I guess with regular crochet, you could always just increase in that one that you accidentally decrease. But I don't know, for me, I guess because I'm still learning, or because maybe I'm just moving too fast. Kenyatta said my phone is unaliving in the card. Oh no. I'm sorry. I'm glad that you got to pop in and say hi. Oh, in the car, not card. I thought you were going to say like memory card or something like that. So, but if you pop out, I'm sorry, but it was good to see you, and I'm so glad you popped in. Yeah, and good luck with your move. I know there are a lot of people who are really good at just, oh, okay, let me see what Shannon said. I was going to say just talking and talking and talking, but I'm not one of those. So I always feel like really awkward when there's nothing in the chat. I'm just kind of like, oh, what should I say? All right, let's see what Shannon said. Yeah, it's busy here. Sorry, hun. Talk soon. Hugs. Thanks for popping in. That is so sweet of you, Shannon. Take care. And we'll talk later. We should go live together sometime. Yeah. You'll have to pick up when it gets quiet, though, because I get all nervous and stuff. Nervous and awkward. Just email me. Let me know. That would be fun. I'm glad you're still here, Beverly. I'm glad that you had a fun trip. Do you have any other big plans this summer? Got your back, Toodles. See ya. We still have Gen Con. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with that because I go there every year, and then every year I talk about it. We have that coming up. I'll probably have to maybe do a video from there or post some pictures when it's done. But is anybody else doing anything special before the end of the summer? We're really winding down. I always feel like I look forward to our trip to Gen Con because it is so much fun, but it's like bittersweet for me because we go on our trip, and then when we get back, it's like immediately go time. You know, my boys are both in high school marching band. One of them, it's his last year. So they start marching band practice actually the day that we're driving back. So they're gonna miss the first one, but they basically start marching band right away. I have to do some in-services before the school year starts, and I think the school year starts last week of August. It is still in August. I don't remember the exact date that it starts, but I know that I have a couple of training sessions each week until school starts. And they do that, it's not because I'm new, they do that every year with all of the staff, you know, no matter what your position is. I guess they're trying to keep us fresh. I don't really know. I had to already do one, I did one in July. I did first aid and CPR. That's something that I need to do and be certified in for my job. So I've already done one. But yeah, now it's like vacation and then go, 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 go. And depending on what happens with this upcoming surgery, you know, if it's not going to be for a few months, I don't know how soon they're able to schedule this. They just said they'll call me to schedule. I had the appointment Friday. They said they would call me to schedule. So, you know, I don't know if that means I'll have it in a few months or I'll have it, you know, next month, but, you know, depending if it's coming up soon, I'm going to miss everything. You know, I won't be able to go to those marching band games and competitions, and I probably won't even be able to, if I do it like sometime towards the end of August, I probably won't even be able to start school until October. So hopefully I'll still have a job. I don't know. Right now I'm just working as an aide. So, you know, there's no guarantee that my job they'll hold my job for 6 weeks. So I'll either be starting late or I won't have a job because I need this surgery. If you're just joining in, why don't you say hi? I want to see who's here. See if we can get some chats going on. I just said to Shannon was here and she just left, and I said to her, it's like, I'm not like one of those people that's good at talking to myself, basically, because when I'm sitting here in front of the camera and nobody's interacting with me, it's like I feel like I have to talk to myself. You know, it just kind of makes me feel awkward and nervous. So if anybody's here, you know, say hi. Let's get a conversation starting. It's this part of the video when people are watching the replay that they're like, click. There's nothing going on here. Hi, Bernadette. Are you a crafter? I like to crochet, Tunisian crochet, and I do a little bit of knitting, but for me, knitting is slow, so I don't do that as much. Are you a beginner? Nice. Nice. I think it doesn't matter where you are. This kind of thing for me is kind of like therapy. You know, sitting down, getting some quiet time, keeping my hands busy. That's a big thing for me, you know. I would love to just, every time I'm sitting doing nothing, I would love to just have something in my hands and working on. Oh, Beverly prefers crochet. I can knit a little. I'm with you. And I'm starting to get a love for Tunisian crochet. I still have a lot to learn, but I'm starting to really, really love it. But it's a similar motion to crochet. So, you know, you kind of, if you're a quicker crocheter, you would be, you know, okay with Tunisian crochet too, as far as speed. But I have seen, and I'm really envious of the people who can knit. I don't remember what they call it. There's two ways of knitting, and now I can't. Continental, I think, is one. And there's one where you just kind of stab it and then you lift up your hand and bring the yarn around. And then there's another one where you kind of use this hand to put the yarn, and then, you know, you kind of go together with two hands. The people who do that can go really fast. And I've practiced doing it that way, and I lose the yarn, and it's just a big nightmare. So I have to do it the slower way. Ching, around, ching. But you know, there's beautiful things that you can make in crochet, in Tunisian crochet, and in knitting. So sometimes it's fun to pick up the knitting needles and try something out. If you're still here, Bernadette, which craft do you do, or do you do all of them? Crochet, knit, Tunisian crochet, the stitch, the X's, needle point, is that what that's called? Cross stitch. I did some cross stitch when I was younger, but it's not my favorite. I love how they look. My mother-in-law is really into them, and she does such beautiful work. I mean, she has pillows, she has framed pictures, and it's all gorgeous. But I don't know, just sitting there doing the X's up back and forth and pricking my fingers all the time. It's just not for me. But I do admire the people who make all the beautiful things. How long have you crocheted, Beverly? Did you learn it as an adult? Did you learn it as a child? Did you have somebody teach you? I know I've told this story before. Both of my grandmothers could crochet and knit. I started to learn how to knit. Oh, that is so great. I love it. Yeah, both of my grandmothers, well, I think my grandmother on my father's side only crocheted. I inherited all of her crafting supplies after she passed, and there were no knitting needles in there, so I think she was primarily crochet. But I know that my grandmother on my mother's side, she could crochet, she could knit. Oh, at Christmas time I'll have to show you guys, because right now it's put away. She knit me this most beautiful Christmas stocking. It has my name on it. It has Santa face, and she used different types of yarns. They were all really thin yarns, but she used like for the beard, she used a white fuzzy yarn, and it's, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I mean, it's so many color changes. Oh my goodness, it's just so beautiful. But neither of my grandmothers taught me how to do it. So I learned from my mother-in-law right after I got married. And thankfully she showed that to me, because for some reason when I picked up that crochet hook and I started learning how to do it, it just felt right. There's no other way to say it, you know. I don't know if you guys experienced that too when you first started to do it, but it just, that motion and creating and making this into art, it felt right to me, and I haven't been able to put it down since. So I'm thankful for that. Beverly said, my mom crocheted, but is actually her sister, my aunt, that taught me. I learned to knit from a friend of the family. I called her aunt, but she wasn't really my aunt. Hi, Nifty, I see ya. You know, I don't see that as much. When I was young, a lot of people would call their parents' friends aunt and uncle. I don't know if it was just a little bit less formal than Mr. and Mrs. But now, like, kids just call their friends' parents by the first name. But when I was young, you never did that. It was either Mr. or Mrs. or aunt and uncle. But I don't hear that as much, like people calling, kids calling adults that they're not related to aunt or uncle. I mean, maybe it's just around here where I live, and maybe it still happens other places, but I just remember when I was young, that seemed to be way more prevalent. And I think it was because adults always had to have some kind of title when I was young. You know, I would have never dreamed of calling any of my friends' parents by their first name. But now my kids' friends, they call me by my first name, or some of them don't know what to call me, because some of them I knew at school, like they saw me at school and they had to call me Mrs., you know, for school. So some of them just don't know what to say, but for the most part, they call me by my first name. Bernadette said, I finally figured out how to keep the same tension throughout. Congratulations! I tried crocheting, but it's a bit harder to figure out. Yeah, and I think sometimes just one or the other feels more natural. You know, there's some people who have just knitting channels, and that's what feels natural to them. You know, for me, when I picked up the crochet hook, it just felt really natural for me, but that doesn't mean it's going to for everybody. And when I do knitting, like, I know how to do it, but for me, it's a little bit slower and more awkward. So, you know, I still do it, but not as much, just because it's not the same. So Beverly said, I was in high school. Oh, nice. You've been doing it a while. I didn't crochet for a long time. I took it back up again when my girls became school age. Did you teach them? Or maybe you said that in the next comment. It was the same with us, Teresa. Never did we call an adult by just their first name. Yeah. Oh, I'm Heather. I'm sorry. I know Teresa and I, you know, we're good friends, and we do our collab together. Yeah, I mean, Beverly, that's exactly what it was. You know, an adult always had to have some kind of title back when we were young. Do you hear that now, Beverly, with like your grandkids, or, you know, your kids where they call, probably not your kids, but maybe your grandkids where they call adults just by their first name? I worked as a music therapist at a private school, and at that school, the kids called us by our first name. I never had heard of that before. It was interesting, but I don't think that those kids were any less respectful than at any other school. You know, and I think it's always a big deal, like, oh, the teachers have to be Mr. and Mrs., and the teachers have to dress nicely because the kids won't respect you. Honestly, I don't know that that makes any difference. I don't think so. I should measure this because I don't want to make it too long and then have to rip some out. We finish this row and then I'm going to hold it up. I'll show you the sweater so far. It's Tunisian crocheted in the knit stitch, so it looks like stockinette stitch. All right, here's the end of the row. It's a really interesting design. I've never done one like this before. Let's see. My kids' friends call me Mama. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And my kid's name. So some call me Mama Bree, others call me Mama J after my kids. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Nifty. I called my parents' siblings uncle or aunt. Yeah, I did that too. I know some people say aunt. I just grew up saying aunt. I don't know. My mom had a best friend I called aunt too. Okay. Yeah, that was a thing when I was young. I'm not sure how old you are, but I'm in my 50s, so when I was young, that was a thing. Beverly said, we had two older ladies that lived next to us when my girls were young. It was a mother and daughter. They told my girls to call them mom. I think that's kind of cute. And I love, like, if your kids' friends feel comfortable enough to call you like mama or something like that. I really think that's cool. Like I said, my kids' friends, some of them call me Heather. That's my first name. Some of them call me Heather, but for the most part, they don't call me anything because I worked at their school. I worked at the middle school. Both of my kids are in high school now, and so they had to call me Mrs. when they saw me at school. So now they don't know what to call me. But here, this is really, really an interesting design. Here's the front. There's no sleeves yet. But you can see that the stitch, it looks exactly like the stockinette stitch when you're doing knitting. And then here's the back. You can see where I am back here. I'm not quite long enough. This has to be as long as the front panel, so I still have a little bit more. But the way that this is put together is so cool. It's all one piece. It's not two panels. I was just kind of used to, when I did tops, either having it in the round, you know, or you do panels and then you sew the panels together. But what you do, I need longer arms. You start at the bottom here. So that's what I did. I started at the bottom. And then when you get it to the point where, you know, where it's as long as you want it to be, you don't have a V yet, where the panel is as long as you want it to be from here down, you break it off into V. So then you have two sides. So you work the two sides until, you know, it's reaches your shoulders. Thank you, Beverly. Beverly said she loves it. And then when you have it where the shoulders end, the next row you go across and then you chain these chains, and then you pick up the stitches that were over here that you left off on, and then you just start going back and forth again. So there's no like seam. I'm excited. This is gonna be a cool sweat. Actually, not cool, it's gonna be really warm because it's really thick. I'm using Ombre Encore from Knit Pal, and it's a bulky, but the pattern that I'm using called for bulky weight yarn. This is really soft, and so it's been really nice to work with. I'm not getting commissions if you buy anything from them. I'm just telling you what I'm using. So that wasn't go out and use my link. I don't have a link for them other than just their home link. Yeah, so it looks like I probably need about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe like 6-ish rows. And then it'll be the same length. And then I looked at the directions tonight, and then you sew up the sides, and the directions say that you do the arms with, you know, you attach on here and you do the arms right here, but I don't like, I'm going to probably do the arms separate because I don't like shifting this big bulky sweater every time I go back and forth with the stitches. So I'll probably just do the arms separate, you know, as a flat panel, and then sew them onto the sweater. So, but it was interesting. It was a neat, new to me way to do the shirt. And I think I would make other shirts the same way. You know, if I was just trying to make a shirt for myself, I think I would just make that as one panel, you know, instead of doing two panels. So what projects are you guys working on? I just showed you what I was doing. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. I'm doing a baby blanket for my grandkid. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, those are always fun. Little baby hats, little baby blankets. Those were so cool. I did that for my kids. For my firstborn, I did a blanket. It took me like 6 months to do because it was the alphabet in bobble stitches, and it was all single crochet, and then when you were doing the outline of the letter it would be a bobble stitch. Oh my gosh, it took me forever, and I said I'm never doing that for another baby again. So my poor second son doesn't have a blanket like that, but I did do a blanket for him. So he has a baby blanket that I did do for him, but not that big old bobble one. But my oldest son still likes it. Chris says, "Hi Heather, I'm working on Christmas items." Good for you. You're way organized. That's great. I just finished all the videos for my Advent crochet along, but I have not uploaded them yet. That's going to be another job in itself to get those uploaded, but hopefully that'll be a lot of fun. Are you, Chris, are you, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong Chris. If I'm thinking of the correct Chris, are you making Christmas things for the shop, or are you doing this for yourself or for people, other people? Oh, Bernadette said, yes, I'm doing a single stitch as well, and it feels like it's taking forever. That's the thing about blankets. Oh my goodness. I don't do blankets anymore for the most part. I have done a couple here and there, but for the most part, I just don't do blankets anymore. Oh, for the shelf at the gift shop. So it is the Chris I'm thinking of. It's a common name. I just wanted to make sure. On my screen, all I see is Chris. So what kind of Christmas things are you putting at the shop? What are you making for Christmas items? I'm always curious. Mostly amigurumi. Those are definitely popular with adults and children. You can't go wrong with those. Well, I'm on the East Coast here, so we're a little bit after 10 o'clock here, so I think I'm gonna head off and head to bed. But I'm really glad to spend time with you. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for chatting. I hope to see you again. I want to get back onto a live schedule. I was doing it every Tuesday, and then the summer schedule threw me off. So I want to get back to scheduling a time. It's probably also going to depend on when I'm getting my surgery. So I might not be able to do lives right after while I'm recovering. So everybody take care. Thanks for coming in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.